everyone, I hope you're doing good. So I've got a few things that I want to get accomplished today and also show you. So first of all, I want to go ahead and store this purple nettle. So it is finally dry. And then there are also seeds in here that I want to store so that I can just have, even though it's probably totally unnecessary because this stuff is everywhere. But I'll show you how I'm going to process that into smaller pieces, and then after that I want to dehydrate some mushrooms, and then later we're going to make some tater wedges. Okay, so first what I'm going to do here is just try and crunch this up and get out as many of the seeds as possible. You can also put this in a paper bag and just kind of shake it like crazy, and that'll help. So now that I feel confident that I've gotten out at least some of the seeds, I'm just going to go through and chop this up. You can blend this or cut it with a knife. I feel like this will be a little bit easiest for getting it the size that I want, especially with there being stems in here. Sometimes I just like to cut it with the kitchen shears. I think it's a little bit easier. My knives also aren't the greatest. I'm just going to go through and chop this up into pieces that are going to fit into my tea strainer, or small enough that I can cram down in a jar and use for tinctures or oil infusions. Okay. So now that I have this all chopped up to the size that I want it, you can also just like crumble it up into smaller pieces or like a super fine tea, whatever your choice is, with the size that you want to keep it. So now that I have it cut up, we're just going to stuff it into a jar. And when you have things like your herbs, you can just like take and like cram them into the jar. You don't have to loosely have them in there. So it's like with brown sugar, how they have it like packed tight. You can do the same thing with your herbs to save you some space. You don't have to. With things like basil, I really prefer to keep the leaves whole. So I don't really like to squish those down because I find that the smaller that the piece of your herb is, that the more quickly that it will degrade. Oh, we have a spider in here. Okay, well, I'm going to take this spider outside real quick. Come on, little guy. You're free. This is something that we like to do around here. If we find like a little spider or something, or a wasp, because they tend to get in the house kind of often because the doors are always swinging open with the dogs, we just kind of take it back outside. Most things you can catch pretty easily. Okay, back inside. Back inside now. Don't worry, I'll wash my hands. And here's a jar of herbs. I'm just going to put the lid on it and then place it on my apothecary shelf now. I don't know if y'all can hear. My dog is like sniffing at this door. Anyway, so now I'm going to just move on to putting the seeds into a bag. And no, I did not label this. I'm actually going to go through my apothecary area and kind of clean out some stuff and label, because I'm getting a lot more stuff in there. So it's not going to be long before I'm like, what is this? Okay, so let me grab an envelope for the seeds and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've just got this little brown paper envelopes. I use these for saving my seeds. They're super cheap to get and they work really well. They do have like a envelope sticky type thing that you have to wet and then it'll stick. But okay, so let me show you my method for transferring seeds into this small thing, especially when they're all spread out like this. All right, so it's pretty simple really. I've just got a paper towel and I'm gonna place it over this. Just make sure you've got the size of whatever it is. You can use a plate or anything you want. Just make sure that it's something that it will stick and not just roll off of, like a piece of plastic. And then if you want, you can kind of wrap the edges and, oops, got stuck there. And then just flip. And it should catch at least the vast majority of what you have. There we go. You'd be able to sew it wherever I'm wanting. That's really my train of thought there. And also, I'm just a habitual seed saver. I can't help it. Okay, so we're going to call it good on that. And then just fold your paper towel in on itself. And then we're just going to funnel them into the envelope. Very simple. Okay, so I can just close this and stick it in with the seed collection. So here's the seed, you guys. It's definitely going to need some organization after this. I'm just going to kind of stick it down in there. Definitely going to have to get some better containers too. These work, but they're very cheap and they're starting to break on me. And I've lost a couple of lids. So let's see. So these are just some of the things that I'm going to be planting soon. A whole lot of basil. I have some cilantro out there already, but I need to plant parsley. I thought I had some of that coming up too, but it's all cilantro, which is not bad. I love cilantro. Okay. All right. Okay. So we got to go back and do the mushrooms now. So I just did my best to go ahead and clean off all of that outer layer of skin, and now I'm just going to begin slicing these up. Okay, so I'm just going to begin laying these out, leaving a little bit of space between each of them. We just don't want them touching. All right, so now I'm just going to dehydrate these guys at a temperature of between 120, 125 for probably about 4 to 6 hours. It could go up to 8 hours though. So like with most things, when you dehydrate them, we're just looking for them to snap. But we're just going to jump straight into making tater wedges here. So I've just got 2 large potatoes. It made a lot of tater wedges. I definitely should have just used one. But all I'm doing is just, first of all, wash them. And then second, I'm just cutting them into sizes that are going to be good for tater wedges. It's kind of up to you whether you want to just cut the whole potato and do like longer slices or do half slices. Whatever your choice is there. So once you get all of that cut up, what you want to do is just put everything in a bowl, and then you're going to cover it with flour and then the spices that you'd like to use. I'm going to be using salt, pepper, and garlic, as well as a little bit of paprika. So you can put as much or as little as you want, but I definitely say season them well. So I'm just going to add those and combine everything and make sure everything is well coated. So next what I'll do is just beat a couple of eggs, and then we're going to come back and coat all of the potato wedges in it. So I'm working with a small bowl here, so I'm kind of using a little bit of a weird method, but it definitely worked. So after you get everything coated, and what you want to do is coat everything in a flour mixture again. So again, it's flour, salt, pepper, garlic, and paprika that I'm using. You can use whatever your choice of herbs are. And then you're just going to coat that evenly again, and I'm going to add in a little bit of oil just to get it to a nice spreading consistency. It definitely helps to get everything to where it's going to be more tacky and able to spread better rather than just being like chunks of flour, if that makes sense. So now that you've added the oil into your potato mixture there, you're just going to add some more flour to that to give it one more coating so that we can throw these into a bag. And then I'm actually going to do one last flour and herb mixture here just to make sure everything is well covered down into the bag. So close that, give it a good shake, and by now the oil should be hot, so you're going to go ahead and start frying these. You can go ahead and drop your tater wedges into there. Now you're just going to fry it like chicken tenders, so probably about like 10 minutes total, but you're going for like a golden brown. Make sure that you flip them at least once, and do not walk away. And once those are done frying, I'm just going to transfer them over to a paper towel and let them drain. So you can see here it made enough to fill up like a 9 by 13 pan, pretty good. So choose your potatoes wisely. Again, I did use 2 large potatoes, so maybe that'll help you based on how many you want to feed. But anyway, something you should know is these do not store well. So I didn't try like breading them and then freezing them. So that may be an option. So bread them, freeze them, and don't fry them, and then pull them out and fry them later. But other than that, I don't think that they're going to do well. I stored them in the refrigerator for one day after this, and really they just had like that second day fried taste that wasn't really where it's at. So that's about it that you should know for the tater wedges. Other than that, I hope you enjoy. Okay, you guys, so that's going to be it for today's video. I hope that this was maybe an inspiration to check on the foods in your fridge or pantry and see if you need to preserve them before they start going bad. Because once they start going bad, you don't necessarily want to preserve those foods. They won't really be shelf stable. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a great day. Bye!